checkmate. Yeah, your moves could be costly. Think 10 steps ahead like a boss, babe. It's checkmate. I keep it real, so back off me. I'm 10 steps ahead like a boss, babe. It's checkmate.
Now, let's say, normally how long would you prep for a competition?
It depends. Like, ideally, you want to be at least 8 weeks out. But that depends if you're actually, like, training beforehand. There's so many risks to taking fights last minute. Like, if you're training full time,
Right.
it's not as bad, but you still have to go through the cutting weight phase.
Right.
So it depends. But normally, when I try to at least get like an 8 week camp in.
At least 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's kind of similar. I mean, that's very similar to, like, as far as training and bodybuilding and whatnot, or I mean, not even really bodybuilding, just cutting weight in general. Once you get lean to a point, you'll get to a point. It's just like when you're training and you're building, you'll plateau.
Yeah.
And you'll get to that point where the training that you were previously doing and the diet you was previously on, it's not getting you the results that it was getting you before. So you reach the plateau. Now you have to change your training variables.
Yeah.
Now you have to make adjustments to your nutrition. And it's the same thing going up, whether you're gaining weight. It's the same thing going down, whether you're losing weight. And so going down, cutting weight, yeah, you will plateau, and a lot of people say, like, your body gets to the point where because you're so low in calories and whatnot, that it goes into starvation mode, and so it starts to want to hold on to the fat.
Oh, yeah.
And your body will start fighting back hormonally. You know?
And it's not even like the fact because you cut so much, like, because well, for the most part, if you're doing it right, our diet, like, I was on a strict, like, my friends whose brother and sister were doing bodybuilding, like, they competed, well, married couple, but they competed together, and then he gave me her diet workout plan, everything. And I was doing my, like, 5 to 6 small meals a day, and 4 ounces of lean meats here and there, and little half cups of greens, and everything's spaced out, and my eggs, egg whites, and no salt, no sugar, no bread, no dairy, and everything just melts off of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then especially with, like, such high training, and I was training, like, at that time I was training 6 days a week. Okay. Normally 4 hours a day, usually, and then Sunday was my 1 day off, and it was
now
just
that's
everything.
Dedication. So when it comes to training for MMA, what are some of the main similarities that you would see as far as training for MMA or training to be a bodybuilder? Because I mean, in both you're working with resistance, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, and it's very different because other than that, all of it's mostly your own body weight. It's like your own personal body resistance, and then other people, and then it's just that, and then the fluidity with, like, how you use your muscles is night and day different. Even if you're doing something where, like, you're working, like, you're just focusing on your biceps, you're doing a lot of stuff that focuses only on your biceps, whereas every day is a full body, every day. They don't just work one way, they're very fluid, rolling in from one to the next, and
explosive.
Yeah.
Like muscular power, basically.
Your main goal isn't really to get bigger, to, like, put on a lot of size.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly just being functional at the size that you are.
Right.
And whenever you put on more muscle, and whenever you put on muscle, I mean, it's just natural. Your body gets tighter. Your muscles get a little tighter, but with that, you want to be as loose as possible. So that's different. But a lot of the, like, with your discipline and everything in it, that's very similar. And, like, when it comes to your diet and everything with it, that's very similar as well, or it should be for the most part. Our goal is our technique and our, if we're going to be able to match our opponent or, you know, what's being thrown at us. If it's just basically like a big ass chess game. It's a really big mental thing with fighting. The physical is just as important as the mental. Like, you know, and then the mental, it might be more important and people don't realize it, because other things it's just like, you know, your technique, because it depends on how you look in there. But if your head isn't right, like, you have no idea. It's, you know, it's like going into war. And if you're not focused, if you're not focused on what's going on in front of you, if you've got some other shit in the back of your head, you're focused on that and not this person that can potentially break your eye socket. You know, it happens all the time. The fights this past weekend, the guy had it was horrible.
And that's pretty much life in general.
Yeah.
Life in general, with everything that we do. So much of it is, you know, everything, of course, everything comes from the mind, but you got to be so focused and, you know, if you really want to be successful at whatever it is you do, whether you're bodybuilding or you're doing MMA. So how about you introduce yourself to my championship trophy fit family? I don't even know if you know that we've been refilming the whole time. After I asked you and you were like, yeah, cool, I went ahead and set it up. So we got all that.
Wait, what, right now?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Molly. Magic Molly. Yeah, we rolling.
God.
We rolling.
Well, at least that took up about 20 minutes. Now I know why you closed the door.
Exactly.
I was wondering. I was like, why did you close the door?
I needed to have my sound right.
That's okay.
Some of that grilled chicken. Y'all already know how I do it.
Oh, you're still recording.
Y'all already know how I do it.
Okay. Well, I'm Molly Dupertuis. MMA fighter. Been training since 1996.
Ass kicker. Professional ass kicker.
Amateur ass kicker. But, you know.
Amateur ass kicker.
Been around
We'll go
long
with
enough.
that for now.
Been doing it since 1996, so I'm about, 19 years in, and competed here in Tennessee, in Nashville a few times, out in Paducah a few times, and then up in Cincinnati, or right around Cincinnati area. At one point ranked #1 in Tennessee. Muay Thai, boxing, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, all the fun jazziness.
All that good shit.
So, hi.
So y'all definitely want to like her on Facebook, follow her on Instagram.
I got rid of all that stuff.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
I did.
Sure did. See, hey, I tried,
I
y'all.
think I still have my fan page up, but I do not do anything with it. But it's there.
Well, like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, tweet, hey, Google Plus, I'm on all of it. Tell you. All right, so, cause I need to go ahead and eat. Let's say, what would you say to that young male or female that they're sitting at home watching UFC, they're dreaming about being a fighter. You know, they may or may not can fight right now, but you know, maybe they'll eventually get into it. What is it? What can you say from your experience to them that, you know, can push them in the right direction with this?
Find a good gym. First, I was always finding a gym, but like I can't tell you how many times, because I've been doing this for so long. This was before women's MMA was. You know, I used to fight in venues that I'd get laughed at and catcalled. And that's, you know, it's been years and years, and we've come a long way. And like for women that have been doing it that long, they have seen that side and know that side. Like I saw Felice Erick's in UFC now that was just on tough. I went to one of her fights out in Jackson, Tennessee, and there's pigs out in there like, show me your ass, and like all this disgusting stuff. And it's not like that, but really it's just the biggest thing is finding a good gym and dedicating yourself. And a lot of women would say, like women and guys, but they'd say, I don't understand why you do this, or, you know, how you're so strong for doing this. I could never do that. But I'm no different than anyone else. You're no different from anyone else. And it's just depending on like how much you are willing to put into something. And that applies to anything in your life.
Find a good gym. What about if they're thinking they're going to become a millionaire?
About that. Those odds are not as big as people may think. Like, yeah, there's the like what people make in UFC, but you have no idea how long it takes for people to get there. Like, it's a very big thing. And even starting out, even if you get accepted into UFC and make your debut fight, I think you get like a couple grand, which isn't that much as compared to, you know, people that are making like 50, 60, 80,000 dollars for, you know, showing up or winning. And that's after like 10 fights in the UFC.
Yeah.
It's a very long process, and by that point, you know, it's just, you gotta really dedicate it, and you have to give a lot for it. So.
Sacrifices.
Oh, very.
Sacrifices must be made if you want to be successful at anything in life.
I think that maybe is.
I think that was good. I hope that y'all learned something. I hope that this video was very informative. And I hope that you like, comment, subscribe. And remember, on the 7th day when God is resting, I'm still working.
You can't cry under pressure.